Click for IB Biology, carbon dioxide transport, leading us into a discussion on the Bohr effect. There's a PDF of this presentation, a blank one, in the description that you can use to annotate as we go along. And then there are also some quick quiz questions that you can use to check your understanding once we've finished. So previously I've described how 5% of carbon dioxide produced by respiring cells is transported directly in solution in the plasma. A further 10% is transported as carbaminohemoglobin, and we discussed that cooperative bonding in another video. And so that leaves us to account for 85% of the carbon dioxide transport in our circulatory system. So let's go through that mechanism. So the carbon dioxide is produced in high concentrations in the mitochondria, and this diffuses B into the capillaries and then directly into the red blood cell. So this may be a surprise that carbon dioxide is actually transported. Its transport is significantly affected by red blood cells. So C, we have carbon dioxide and water, carbon dioxide dissolving in the water of the cytoplasm of the red blood cell under the influence of the enzyme carbonic anhydrase. Now you'll recall that carbon dioxide has low solubility in water, and so the red blood cell has the advantage of having the presence of this enzyme, and this greatly enhances the solubility of carbon dioxide into the water of the cytoplasm of the red blood cell. And then this quickly forms carbonic acid, dissociating into hydrogen ions and hydrogen carbonate ions. So if we track the carbon dioxide, which is now located here in the hydrogen carbonate ion, this is then exchanged into the plasma by a process which is called the chloride shift. And in this process, the hydrogen carbonate goes in one direction and chloride ions are pumped into the red cell in the other direction to maintain the charge balance across the membrane. So now most of the carbon dioxide is present in the plasma as hydrogen carbonate ions, and that would be transported to the lung to be exhaled. Now the process creates the presence of these hydrogen ions, and of course you'll associate hydrogen ions with acidity, and the hydrogen ions are then attracted a strong affinity. That's an important word to use. There's a strong affinity of hydrogen ions to the hemoglobin here, and the hemoglobin will buffer those hydrogen ions. But the consequence of this is that as more hydrogen ions are attached to the hemoglobin, this changes the chemistry of the hemoglobin molecule, and there's a loss of affinity, there's a loss of attraction between the hemoglobin and the oxygen, so the oxygen now has dissociated and diffuses into the cell. Now the beauty of this mechanism, which leads us to the Bohr effect, is that as we produce more carbon dioxide, we ultimately will get more oxygen release. And so the tissue leads the demand for the supply of oxygen. This will be explored further when we look at videos more specifically targeted at the Bohr effect. I have listed here, if you pause the video, you can look at this this sequence here. These are the notes associated with the annotation letters on my diagram, previous diagram. So the following videos will pick up at this point and look at the influence of carbon dioxide transport on the affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen, known as the Bohr effect.